Welcome, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. So, what is Frontiers in Science? Frontiers in Science is our flagship journal. We launched it 2 years ago, and I'm delighted today for the opportunity to update you on its achievements so far, and also highlights ways in which you can contribute to this important project at Frontiers. But first, let me share why we decided to launch Frontiers in Science in the first place. As you know, Frontiers is on a mission to make all science open, to accelerate solutions for healthy lives on a healthy planet. So we currently publish 229 journals across more than 1,700 disciplines. And collectively, these articles have achieved billions of views and downloads and millions of citations. So Frontiers is truly a driving force for open science. That said, a significant portion of research is still locked behind paywalls. And this is especially true for articles published in high-impact journals. As you can see here, only a very small fraction of review and research articles published in the highest impact factor journals are open access. 18% for Nature, down to 1% for Science, 0% for the New England Journal of Medicine. And actually, even when these high impact articles are open access, they are often not published in ways that fully engage audiences both within the research community and also beyond. So, and at Frontiers, we really believe that cutting edge paradigm shifting science must reach everyone at the time of, and reach everyone at the time of publication. It needs to reach scientists, of course, scientists, but also policymakers, industry stakeholders, the general publics, a future generation. And this accessibility is really truly essential so that we can collectively accelerate scientific innovation in the face of the urgent global challenges we are all facing today. So this was really the rationale for launching Frontiers in Science in the first place. So Frontiers in Science is our flagship title, as I said, is multidisciplinary, and it's dedicated to this very transformational science the world needs to accelerate healthy lives on a healthy planet. So we invite exceptional peer-reviewed articles at Frontiers in Science from world-renowned authors on cutting-edge scientific advances addressing global challenges. And we give to these articles unrivaled reach and impact as they deserve across science, policy, and society audiences. And as you will see across this presentation, Frontiers in Science is actually already well on track to be one very impactful scientific journal. This is how we do it. We built unique and innovative article hubs around exceptional lead articles. So first, we commission exceptional lead articles based on extensive scoping and analysis conducted by our in-house team of professional editors. And then these lead articles are always authored by panels of high-impact researchers, and they receive extensive support from Frontiers. We offer bespoke support throughout their development, including pre-submission, editorial review, project coordination, figure conceptualization, and also illustrative design. Then, following rigorous peer review, as the accepted lead articles are published within these unique and innovative article hubs of multi-audience content. Each lead article is enriched by an editorial by a leading thought leader, scientific viewpoint, usually by the peer reviewers of the lead article, a policy outlook discussing the article in its policy context, a scientific symposium around the lead article. We call those symposiums the deep dives, where we discuss and debate the article findings with field experts, and also explanatory materials for general readers, including a Frontiers for Young Mind articles for kids. And then we maximize the impact and the dissemination of the hub via global media and digital marketing campaigns. We partner with influential organizations to amplify their contents. And finally, we foster high-impact research topics in Frontiers field journals to help extend the scientific impact of these lead articles via further research. And we'll tell you more about this later. Frontiers in Science, in terms of editorial scope, it has a truly multidisciplinary editorial scope. It's guided by the Sustainable Development Goals, and our lead articles and hubs explore and further elucidate the numerous interrelationships between human and planetary health. So let's take a tour of one of these hubs. Here you can see one of our most recent articles, led by Professor Bob Hancock from Vancouver University. Bob is a world leader in applying systems immunology to sepsis management and care. And here you see the unique article hubs built around the lead article. In this hub, the lead article is complemented further with an editorial by Jean-Louis Vincent, who is an authority in the field of sepsis, 2 viewpoints articles by the reviewers, and a policy outlook by the Global Sepsis Alliance, strategic partners in this hub and with this lead article. The Global Sepsis Alliance is the world's most preeminent scientific advocacy body in this field, actually. And of course, next to in this hub as well, you'll find the infographics, the videos, the kids content for in Frontiers for Young Minds for more general audiences. So this hub is all designed really to provide this exceptional lead article with the unrivaled reach and impact it deserves. So to date, since we launched in February 2023, we have now published 19 of these high impact article hubs. They include 19 lead articles and over 70 editorial viewpoints and policy articles. They are covering key topics in human health, climate change, biodiversity, water system, agriculture, or green energy, and more. And our latest hub that was published last month feature, for instance, the most comprehensive computational model of brain metabolism. And it's an openly available tool that is designed to help advance research on healthy brain aging. And Lee, my colleague, who is a strategic advisor of Frontiers in Science, will share more about the impact of all these hubs and articles to date on the second part of the presentation. But for now, I leave you with the exciting news that we have a terrific lineup for the rest of 2025. So the next 3 lead articles will focus for the first one on personalized nucleic acid nanomedicines, the second one on a critical assessment of polar geoengineering, and the third one on food system microbiomes as critical solutions for the future, with many more lead articles and hubs currently in active development in our vibrant pipeline. So thank you very much. My colleague Lee is going to take over. Lee, over to you, and I will discuss the impact of Frontiers in Science to date. Thank you.
Great, thanks, Laure, and hello, everybody. I am Lee Baker, editorial advisor at Frontiers in Science, and yes, I have the great job to update you on basically how we're doing with the journal, its progress so far. The first thing to do really is to pay tribute to the contributors that we've had. You know, every journal is as good as its contributors, and we've had the privilege and the pleasure to work with some of the most highly impactful scientists from around the world, either as lead authors or as reviewers of those articles, or indeed handling editors too. And many of these contributors and editors have come from the Frontiers editorial network. And I know that at least some of you are actually online at the moment. So for those of you who have been involved, thank you. And we look forward to doing the very best for your work. We also, if you look at the H index, just to put it into numbers, of our convening lead article lead authors at 87, I think pays testament to their impact. And we also have very high values here also, as you can see, for the lead article reviewers and the authors of our editorials as well. It's also been great that we've managed to attract the participation and the collaboration of many of the most influential organizations in the world, either as co-authors within our lead articles or other contributions, editorials, for example, but also panelists at our deep dives as well. And as you can see here from many of the multilateral organizations, the research organizations at national or international level, learned societies and NGOs, we've had a great reception and a great contribution from them too. I mentioned deep dives, and Laure touched on these too. These are a new angle on the Frontiers Forum series, which I know most of you will know about. Here, the aim is to do a 90-minute focused webinar on each lead article so that the authors can really have a technical engagement with a audience from around the world that is specifically targeted for their interest in this lead article. So far, we've had 4,700 and more participants from around the world from 133 countries. And in the map, we show only a few examples here from around the world. And not only are these proving popular, but we know that they also drive engagement in the articles. 91% of attendees who had not read the article so far say afterwards that they intend to do so. So it's a great tool for driving engagement and impact in this content around the world. So how are we doing? Well, here in numbers is certainly, first of all, our views and downloads. We're breaking records within Frontiers. All content so far, and remember we launched just over 2 years ago. We're looking at over 1.5 million views, 216,000 downloads, and each lead article within 6 months of its publication gets 43,000 views and 6,000 downloads on average. So hopefully, yeah, this is evidence that what we're doing is working so far in terms of views and attention that way. Visibility, attention in the media is also good. As Laure mentioned, we have dedicated campaigns toward the media and digital marketing as well, in order to take this transformational science to all audiences worldwide, both public, the general public, and of course the science media as well. So yes, over 700 total media pickups, and many of these in top level outlets. As Laure said at the start, the aim of Frontiers in Science is to have this engagement across science and the general public, and also even decision makers too. And this is a little harder to track sometimes, but and it was really gratifying to see. For example, last October, the United Nations Environment Programme, this 2024 report you can see here alluded to and referenced a couple of times one of our lead articles from last year, which was by on the methane imperative, that is informing recommendations to curb methane emissions by Drew Shindell, who's at Duke University. So it's great to see that we're getting traction in this space too. Citations, how are we doing about citations? Well, as you know, citations in the literature lag behind views and downloads because of the nature, of course, publishing coming through with articles that cite our lead articles. But we're thrilled to announce this month we've just broken through 500 citations since February 2023. So just over 2 years' time. So this is how it looks over time. What you can see in blue here, the blue line is the median number of citations to our lead articles per lead article at these selected time points post publication. So after 6, 9, 12, 15 months and so forth after publication, this is how many citations they are getting. By reference, you can see the gray dotted lines, those are the median per article rates in comparison journals. So in the Innovation, which is the highest impact factor open access journal out there, multidisciplinary, and other comparative science in nature, those impact factors, this is how we're tracking. It's very early days, but we, obviously we're monitoring this, and we think so far we're on track to be a very high impact journal. You see a big uptick there at 24 months. That's a little bit skewed upwards by the enormous success in particular of one of our very first lead articles defining the term organoid intelligence by Thomas Hartung and many colleagues from Johns Hopkins. And that article so far has, I think last time I looked 123 citations already. So that's been a terrific success. And otherwise the values are median. So we're trying to be quite conservative in our estimation here. that Frontiers in Science is not a project in isolation. Its whole purpose, its key purpose, is to raise the visibility and reputation of the entire Frontiers portfolio of journals, and benefiting all field journals as well. And this, we hope, is playing out in several ways, in particular through the triggering of high impact research topics. I'll say more about that in a moment. Through high quality spontaneous submissions, through the reputation that we're building, and even also through the many contributors to Frontiers in Science coming back. Incidentally, many of the convening authors of our lead articles haven't necessarily published with Frontiers before. So we're bringing a whole new group of scientists, high impact scientists, into the space here. And also leading on from that, potentially editorial board recruitment too. We believe that this reputation should help driving the recruitment of new editors to your journals as well. Specifically on research topics, we have 3 so far launched based on specific lead articles. The first one that was launched on the far left, as you can see here, this was a lead article by Professor Mark Strulens and colleagues. Mark is as an SCE in Frontiers in Public Health and Frontiers in Medicine, and this was actually a position statement on behalf of the European Society of Clinical Microbiology and Infectious Diseases. So it's got a lot of traction because of that attachment to this large and very well regarded scientific society. And the research topic was launched in September and has 41 confirmed contributors. And we have 3 articles published and another 7 in peer review. So that's been very successful so far. The other 2 are much more recent, both, as it happens, in in agriculture and plant science. That is Controlled Environment Goes Dynamic. That's vertical farming by Professor Leo Marcellis, and Induced Resistance in Crops by Professor Brigitte Mauchmani. And those 2 are relatively recently launched, and we look forward to their success too. We have another 14 in development, and based on another 9 lead articles. Essentially, every Frontiers in Science lead article, we aim to have at least 1 research topic afterwards. So you may ask, how can I get involved? And that's a great question, and it's wonderful. Should you want to get involved, there are several ways. There are many ways. This includes participation in the hubs that are ongoing, either as reviewers or viewpoint authors. Handling editors often come from inside the Frontiers editorial network. Editorial authorship, occasionally we reach out to editors from the group too in order to secure editorials. Often ad hoc guidance. We receive proposals for lead articles, and sometimes it's very helpful to have insights and guidance on how to shape those from members of the network. And lastly, deep dives. We invite all all editorial boards of relevant journals to lead article deep dives in that field. We look forward to your participation, your attendance, your questions, and sometimes also panelists too. Sometimes we come to the network for panelists for those too. So there's many ways there. Secondly, research topics, as I mentioned, either supporting those through editorial roles and also contributions of your own. And lastly, lead articles. Many of the lead articles that we have published and that we are in the process of developing have come from FCEs and SCEs, and we look forward to any further proposals or ideas that you may pitch. You may pitch them to the Frontiers in Science editorial office or via your journal manager. Many ideas have come from journal managers too in consultation. So please do get in touch that way. And speaking of the editorial office, we pay tribute to a very dedicated and experienced team within Frontiers in Science. This is the core team in the editorial office, who are very expert across the fields of not only of scientific publishing, but also communications and events and programming, all the stuff that goes to make the rounded hubs that Laure showed you at the start. And even that's not enough. Let's say Frontiers in Science is a platform-wide project. We are supported by colleagues from all departments of Frontiers, and on behalf of Laure and myself, thank you very much to all of them. I hope you will join us in congratulating them on the first 2 years, and let's hope a very successful future as well. So thank you very much for your time. I'll hand you over to Laure Henderson, who's going to update you on Frontiers for Young Minds.
Thank you, Lee. And hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be talking to so many of you to share our innovative project and its achievements with you. I'm Laure Henderson. I'm the Head of Programme for Frontiers for Young Minds. We are a non-profit project funded by the Frontiers Research Foundation over 10 years ago, and we are now gaining great international recognition as a leading science engagement platform. We're making significant impact as part of the VIP flywheel that Fred was explaining to you, as we attract field-leading researchers to work with us as our authors, including many Nobel Laureates, and I'll come back to that. But first, let me give you some context for the mission of this unique project. I'm sure you'll agree with me that our young people are the future of our world, but they will not only inherit it, they will be responsible for its ongoing future. They need to continue the changes that the cutting-edge science featured in Frontiers in Science is driving. So they need to be science literate and to understand the breakthroughs which are being made today for them tomorrow. But the science they need to understand isn't written for kids. It isn't even written for adults who aren't scientists. Take a look at this paper on the screen. It's the typical thing we would see for peer review, but even though it's open access published, it's not actually intellectually accessible to anyone outside the author's peer review community. Scientists are trained by the peer review process throughout their careers to write for other scientists. And because of this, kids often perceive researchers as these all-knowing experts who are not like normal people. And this perception really sticks into adulthood. So how can we empower kids with the revelation that science is for them too? And how can we get them directly engaged so they later become good citizens, good leaders, and scientists themselves? To solve this problem, Frontiers for Young Minds was born. Now here's our version of the same article. Now you can see that everyone can read it and even enjoy it. So how do we do what we do? Well, we work proactively to make partnerships with top international science institutions, examples here, the IPCC, NASA, and CERN. Including leading authors from the affiliated networks of these organizations, we craft article collections addressing the hot topics that kids want to learn about and which educators and parents can use with total confidence in the quality of the science. Now, because we also, like Frontiers in Science, include the whole scope of STEM with 2 M's in one journal, we offer a huge range of topics. For example, here, from future health technology to space exploration and cutting-edge climate science research. Because everything we publish is freely available online, we have gained a huge audience. We've now published over 1,675 original articles, which have been read by an incredible 53.5 million people in 230 countries and territories worldwide. Truly global reach. And this gives us a huge average of nearly 32,000 views per article published. But we don't just publish top quality science for a worldwide audience. We go further. Our mission is to engage young students directly with science and empower them. In our unique peer review, kids aged 8 to 15 take control. We've now worked with nearly 10,000 of these young reviewers, guided by our appointed science mentors who work locally with them, currently in 55 active countries. The science mentors coach the young reviewers not only on the science of the article they're reviewing, but also the scientific process itself, why peer review is conducted, the importance of information validation, and they share insights into the research world they come from. So this process increases the young people's science capital, and it increases the likelihood in future of them taking a STEM career themselves. And again, we go further. Knowing that all our young readers may not speak fluent English at this age, we also work with regional partners, funding and distribution partners, to translate our publications into, so far, French, Chinese, Arabic, and Hebrew, and we hope to add more languages in the future. Now, the success of our project has brought us some surprises, as I mentioned before, including the achievement of attracting Nobel Prize winners to write the stories of their groundbreaking science and connect to share them directly with our young audience. We have now published 33 of these most distinguished laureate scientists, and our Nobel collection, now in its 4th volume, has achieved in total over 2.3 million reads and over 300 million social media impacts. Our new 4th volume, featuring our 3 latest laureates, namely Kip Thorne, Jennifer Doudna, and Ben Feringa, was featured in The Times in January this year. And we're achieving other major highlights with media and awards as well. After the Times article by the science journalist Rhys Blakely, which featured an interview with Ben Feringa and 2 young reviewers, our project was then picked up by BBC Radio 5, and we were interviewed live by Naga Munchetty in February, which also featured a different young reviewer to share their experiences. We've won also several recent accolades for our recent innovative approach to science engagement and for our overall impact. In October 2024, Open Education Global honoured us with their Significant Impact Open Asset Award. And this year, we've already secured some honours in publishing industry circles. First, taking a special mention in the 2025 Digital Reading Experience Award from the prestigious Bologna Children's Book Fair. And just last week, we were listed as a finalist in our category, or one of only 2 finalists, of the inaugural EPIC Awards from the Society for Scholarly Publishing. Now, all of this success is managed by a very small and dedicated team, those you see here on the inner circle on this slide, who handle all the journal functions and all the languages between them. And they are ably supported by our vital colleagues across other teams in the business, who are shown in the outer circle. And they ensure our articles are professionally edited and produced, our platform is functional, and our communications reach the audiences that we want to talk to. So a huge thank you from me and all my team to everyone who makes this unique and wonderful project possible. We really hope this has inspired you today. Please do share Frontiers for Young Minds free resources to your friends, your children, schools, networks you have contact with, and any others who are interested in top quality, accessible science. And so, from one Frontiers Research Foundation project to another, I'm now going to hand over to our final speaker, Gilbert De Gregorio, who will give you some breaking news from the Frontiers Planet Prize, which is another amazing VIP flywheel project, which FYM is proud to support by providing a collection of kids' versions articles to share their planet-changing science. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Laura, and hello, everyone. It's a real pleasure to be with you all here today. Thank you for joining this session. And I'm here to talk to you about something we're deeply passionate about at the Frontiers Research Foundation, in addition to Frontiers for Young Minds. It's about mobilizing science to drive global impact through the Frontiers Planet Prize. So what is the prize? It's a global competition, a science competition, that recognizes exceptional researchers working on breakthrough, scalable solutions for one fundamental mission: helping humanity live healthy lives on a healthy planet. What are the outputs? Each year, each participating country is awarded with a national champion, and from this cohort, 3 international champions are awarded with a prize money of $1 million. And what sets this prize apart is not just the caliber of the science it celebrates, but it's the mechanism behind it and the impact it's creating. The prize money, for one. The prize money is used to directly accelerate, scale up, and amplify the impact of the winning work. And the yearly cycle of each edition is a way to collapse the timeline in building scientific consensus, allowing fast take-up of solutions directly from the scientific community. And finally, it's exactly that. The prize mobilizes the global academic community in identifying real solutions that get us back into a safe operating space, putting voice back to science. So the prize was launched on Earth Day 2022. And in its first year, we managed to get 233 institutions participating, each of whom put forward 3 scientists from their institution to participate. That number more than doubled in the second year, with 475 institutions. And this year, our third year, we've now engaged over 600 institutions across 5 continents. So it's not just growth in numbers, it's growth in visibility and in credibility and the shared commitment of the global academic community in addressing one of the 21st century's most important challenges. And what's truly unique is the way the prize operates. So the research isn't self-nominated. As I mentioned, it's put forward by institutions and also by national academies that themselves are global leaders. This includes over 20 national academies from 6 continents of the world, ensuring rigorous and mission-aligned selection process. So in short, we're surfacing the best science that we can put into action. So not just great papers, but research with the potential to save our planetary ecosystems. And how are the champions selected? The selection process is overseen by our independent jury of 100 leading planetary health experts from across all disciplines, and featuring some of you who are with us today, our own chief editors. And at the head of the jury is the chairman and pioneer of the Planetary Boundaries Framework, Professor Johan Rockström from the Potsdam Institute of Climate Impact Research. And in its third year, the prize is having a significant impact. So in terms of numbers, we have over 10,000 scientists participating through their contributions as co-authors on nominated papers. That's led to 62 national champions being announced, with 7 international champions sharing a prize pot of $6.6 million. In terms of media pickup, it's being picked up extensively, so it's really being recognized as amongst the most prestigious and the most visible science awards on the planet, and is also feeding almost 300 policy documents. And looking at the actual science that wins, and through the prize's unique mechanism, the impact is being felt way beyond the academic community. So one example here is Professor Jason Laure from the University of Notre Dame, who was a winner from last year with his work in Senegal. And what he was looking at is, through his research, showed that removing harmful aquatic plants in certain local communities in Senegal not only cleaned water, but also reduced disease transmission and created new income opportunities. It's estimated that his work has helped save over 46,000 lives. And then moving from the African continent to the Amazon, Professor Carlos Perez, our inaugural winner in the first year, his work within the Amazon on protected areas has improved the lives of 60,000 people, whilst also enhancing biodiversity and community resilience. So it's all based on one study, one article that changes lives and ecosystems. And that's what we mean when we talk about science for impact. And we're proud that global leaders in science, like Sir Peter Gluckman, president of the International Science Council, have recognized the prize for filling a very critical and much needed gap, supporting research that leads to action, not just further academic discourse. So the prize is not only about honoring scientists, it's about putting wind in their sails. And finally, in case you missed the recent announcement that Fred had sent with you all, I'm pleased to share the 3rd edition cohort of the national champions that were announced on Earth Day. On the 22nd of April, so very recently. These are 19 brilliant scientists from across 5 continents who are not just publishing papers, they're building breakthrough solutions for climate change, protecting biodiversity, restoring water systems, and a lot more. We're talking about research that goes from talk to transformation. And now they move on to the final round of the competition, where 3 international champions will be selected by the jury of 100 and will each receive their $1 million to scale up their game-changing research. And this will be announced on June the 17th at our award ceremony, which takes place in Villars-sur-Olon, hosted by our partners, the Villars Institute. So to finish up, why am I sharing this with you, our editors? Because this prize is born out of our community, the Frontiers community. And we'd love to keep on spotlighting transformational research and continue building a global movement where science drives the solutions our planet so desperately needs right now. So thank you so much for listening. And if you'd like to learn more about the prize, if you'd like to participate or even know someone who would like to participate, please do reach out directly to myself or to our prize director, Professor Jean-Paul Bergerman, and we'll be happy to help you. So thank you very much for listening, and I'll hand back over to you, Fred.
Gilbert, thank you very much. And thanks to Laure and Lee and Laura and Gilbert for talking about all this fantastic work that's being conducted by these teams at Frontiers on these important projects. So with that, for now, from me and on behalf of the entire team here at Frontiers, thank you once again for joining us today, and goodbye till next time.